right, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at 11.1b. 11.1b is different than 11.1a, which is what we did yesterday. The only thing that's different is we're going to talk more about combining shapes and figuring out their perimeter and area when there's two of them. Okay, so I'm going to skip over the vocabulary. It's exactly the same thing we talked about yesterday. The important thing that you want to look at is postulate 26. We're really concentrating on that today. Okay. Example 1. Let's zoom this out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Okay. All right. You need to buy paint so that you can paint the side of a barn. A gallon of paint covers 350 feet. How many gallons do we want to buy? So the first thing we need to figure out is the total area of this shape. Okay, so this looks like this is a rectangle, right? This bottom part. So if it's a rectangle and this is 26, what's this up here?
27.
Okay. Do you see how these two sides are congruent?
Yep.
So that means it's a what kind of triangle? 45, 45, 90. So I know x square root 2 equals 26. So I'm going to divide both sides by the square root of 2. And I'm actually going to find the decimal approximation because it's going to be easier to calculate. But hopefully we can still find the radical form if we need to. So both of these should be 18.38. Okay, so let's find the area. So one thing we can do for the area is let's find the area of the rectangle and then find the area of the triangle. Okay, so we're going to say triangle area. What does that equal? And rectangle. Now we know a rectangle area is length times width, or base times height. 18 times 26. Which gives us 468 feet. Okay, and then the triangle is 1/2 base, which is 18.38 times height, which is 18.38. Remember, your base is never your hypotenuse. So 18.38 and then divided by 2 gives us 168.9. We'll leave it at. Feet squared. These should both say feet squared. Okay, so let's add them together. So total 168.9 plus 468, excuse me, is 636.9. Did that feet squared is the total. So I'm done, right? What do I have to do? You have to see how many gallons. So if 350 feet is for 1 gallon, how am I going to figure it out? I'm going to divide by 350. And I need 1.81 gallons, or 1.82. So how many cans of paint am I going to buy, or gallons of paint? 2. Probably 2. You'll have some left over, but you can't buy 0.82 gallons of paint. Is there any questions about this so far?
Wait.
Yes. 1/2 base times height. Okay, so are we ready to move on to example 2? I'm going to move it up. I won't let it go, but if you guys don't have any other questions, we'll move on to example 2. A parallelogram has an area of 153 square inches and a height of 17 inches. What is the length of the base? Okay, so this is very similar to what you guys did yesterday. We just have a simple parallelogram. We know the area equals 153 inches square inches, and the height is 17. What is the base? Well, how do you find the area of a parallelogram? Not 1/2, just base times height. Base times height equals the area. So I'm just going to take 153, divide by 17, and I get 9. inches. Okay, and that was it. So most of your homework is going to look like this. Again, like example 1 where you have multiple things combined. Just split them up into which ones you know. So it should be, you know, like a rectangle and a triangle, or a triangle and a parallelogram, or a parallelogram and a square. Okay? So find the area. But before we do that, I am going to read to you